How's it rockin', Dween Nation? This is the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before we do, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, or share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Paez, alongside Genoa Agudelo, and we're here for the AFC Divisional Round. It's upon us. 2 games. We got Chiefs and Texans, and we got Bills and Ravens, the same 4 teams we saw in 2024, 2024 playoffs. But this is exciting because it's flipped, though. It's not, what was it last year? It was Ravens,
Baltimore,
Texans, and Bills, Chiefs, but now we get Bills, Ravens, Texans, Chiefs. And I'm excited to get into all these games. Obviously, we recapped the wild card games and briefly talked about these games as well in our episodes earlier this week. But now we're going to fully get into these games and predict the winners and who's going to move on to the conference championship games. But before we do, how you doing, Genoa?
Yo, Dween Nation, how's it going there, Justin? I'm a little nervous here, because by the time you guys are watching this, it is going to be Thursday, which means we're just two days away, Justin. 2 days away from one of the biggest games. As a Texans fan, one of the biggest games in our franchise history, and I'm very nervous, Justin, to tell you the truth. I'm really curious to hear what you got to say because this is one of the biggest games as Texas fans will see in recent memory.
Yeah, man, I am excited to dive into these games. A lot on the line for the Texans. This is probably their biggest game as a franchise. Obviously, they never passed this round in their entire franchise career, whatever you want to call it. And they've also never won a playoff road game ever. So these are a lot of history numbers that they need to break. Will they? Let's dive into it. And let's go team by team. And we will start with, obviously, this game, but let's start with the home team and the Chiefs. How will this game play out? Let's see. We got Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They're coming off a bye, so they got 2 weeks of rest, 2 weeks to prepare. They also just played the Texans, a month and a half ago. So it's still fresh on their minds. They played in Arrowhead this last time, too, when they played Houston. And I find it really hard for Houston to overcome the odds. I know they dominated the Chargers in an unlikely fashion, but it kind of, to me, I'm just watching deja vu all over again. Last year, it was kind of the same thing. They went in and they dominated Cleveland at home. Then they had to go to Baltimore, and things fell apart. So I don't think it'll fall apart like it did against Baltimore where they lose by 20 plus. But I think the Chiefs are going to do enough like they've been doing all year. They win those close games. They play clutch in clutch moments. And that's how I think it'll play out. As for like maybe the betting side of things, who will do good in what spot, I think you got to look at Kelce. You got to look at Worthy to have good games. And now on the Texans side, I think you can rely on Nico. But I'm a little scared betting on anybody else. What do you think about this game?
Well, Justin, here's the thing. I feel like the Texans have got to stop the Chiefs in critical third down situations. That was kind of the thing there in their first matchup there about less than a month ago. I believe this was before Christmas, a couple days before Christmas, the last time we saw these cats. And with the Chiefs, they were just able to convert there. Kareem Hunt had a pretty good game there. He had a touchdown. But as far as like betting odds, I like to look at the players that weren't really involved in that game, and that was DeAndre Hopkins, a former Texan. He was on the field when we last played the Chiefs in Arrowhead in the playoffs, and was not the best ending for us there. And I like Noah Gray, a candidate to score a touchdown. There's a lot of mouths to feed now. You look back now, this team had lost Pacheco for the first half of the season, and then Rashee Rice was scorching hot to begin the season, and he got hurt. But still a lot of mouths to feed there. Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown. I mean, you still can't forget about Juju, who gets in it every now and then. They did just put McCole Harmon on IR. And so I think that, Xavier Worthy is going to get a lot of those gadget catches out of the backfield, some handoffs as well. And you still can't count out, Travis Kelce. He is a Hall of Famer. And I think that all season he's kind of been, not into tune because – they've been to the playoffs now every year, since Andy Reid's been there. I think they've only missed like 1 year or something like that. And they've been to the Super Bowl, every Super Bowl, the last like 5-6 years, 5 out of 6 years. because I think the Bengals are the AFC representative. So it's like he's gonna snap in it and he's gonna have a great game. He's Travis Kelce, and it's just this is gonna be a game that the Texans have got to set a tone defensively through their pass rush. Aziz Shair, he's gonna need to be a leader, a vocal leader, and really call some plays there in that be the quarterback for the defense, be the heart and soul. Because man, Justin, this Chiefs team knows how to convert any down that you could think of. Third and long, second and long, third and short. I mean, it just doesn't matter. This Chiefs team has all the gadgets. And one last thing, Justin, before I send it off to you, this defense is so unbelievable. I mean, the pressure that can get on, like I've been saying all year, the pressure they can get on any down is outrageous there. I mean, their D line, it's not led by stars. I mean, obviously, yes, you got Chris Jones, but I mean, they just all play as a team there. I mean, Tershawn Wharton is a stud there that I like. No one really talks about him. Mark Dana, I think, is, and Tranquil. And I love this guy, George Karloftis. This guy is an underrated defensive player. I think later down the line, if he stays healthy 3-4 years, he's going to be a candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year later down the line. Spags has got this defense hot. And that's the real reason, Justin, that this team is where they are right now. Because Mahomes doesn't have to do a lot. 2018, 2019, he's kind of had to do a lot, getting in team shootouts because their defense wasn't able to stop anybody. But now that's not the case. This defense is hot, and I feel like they're going to be able to get to CJ a whole lot.
Yeah, I find it so difficult. Houston, early parts of the game against the Chargers, couldn't get off the ground on the offensive side. And I just think that's going to be spread out more with the Chiefs. Last year we thought the same thing. Hey, their offense wasn't clicking, and their defense was really good all year, but can they really do it and win back-to-back? I feel like people might be going into the same mindset, but I think that's when they turn it on. I don't think they put their full foot on the gas during the regular season in order to be ready for this time to try to win 3 straight championships. But before we move to the last game, we got to pick scores and winners, and I'll start us off here. I have the Chiefs winning, and I think it's going to be close-ish, but I have them winning 27-17.
I'm going to agree with you there, Justin. I'm going to go 23-16. I feel like the Chiefs are just going to get that call. They're going to get that plays made. I think that there could be a potential drive where we're going to need to get a stop, and I feel like Mahomes is just going to make the right plays where needed. Not a lot of firecrackers in this game, as we're going to get to in the next AFC matchup, but good enough for the Chiefs to win and to remain home for next week's AFC Championship.
Yep. All right, so we're aligned there. Let's see how aligned we are in this next game with the Ravens and the Bills. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. We talked about it earlier. It's kind of seeming like MVP versus MVP runner-up. You can determine which is which. But I think this game is going to be super exciting, even though they did play each other early in the year and the Ravens won 35-10. But let me get your take on this game, and then I'll add after you.
Okay, well, here's the thing, Justin. This is a really tough, pick to make. But you look at the last 3 years there, Josh Allen's kind of been a little embarrassed there in those divisional matchups. He did only make that AFC Championship once, but he gets embarrassed at home by Joe Burrow. Gets embarrassed at home by Patrick Mahomes last year. Not to mention a few years ago he had that that shootout, I believe, and in the loss to Kansas City. But I don't know, Justin. I don't know how to pick this because you look at what the Ravens were able to do this offseason. They just got better. Lamar gets slimmer. They rave about Rashad Bateman, which, Harbaugh ended up being right about Bateman. He had a pretty great season. And then they bring in Derrick Henry. And then now you have guys like Likely and Andrews that are able to step it up at any given moment. And it's just tough for me to just see Lamar lose again, Justin. It's just so tough. He came into this year, and even the moment he was drafted, right? He gets that post-draft interview with Deion Sanders, and he's like, I'm a Raven. Like, they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. And I feel like, with this Bills team, they're not really fully developed. We thought we were going to see a lot out of Keon Coleman. They trade for Amari Cooper. This time last year, Amari Cooper was going off with Cleveland, right, with Joe Flacco. And the fact that he's not doing much with Josh Allen is concerning. And then Khalil Shakir, he's good, but then he's not. He's on and off. And lastly, Kincaid has been an absolute disappointment. But if Kincaid's a disappointment, I don't understand why Knox can't be better. So, Josh Allen had a very underwhelming game against Denver last week. And so I don't know, Justin. I don't really know. I don't think this Baltimore defense is good enough to stop the run there. I don't see much out of James Cook. So I feel like this is going to have to be an ultimate Josh Allen rushing game where it's just all Josh Allen running the football on critical downs. But he's going to need, like I mentioned in a couple videos ago, he's going to need a 100-yard receiver. Like he's got to if they're going to beat this Ravens defense. This defense is able to be beatable by passing. Obviously, you guys remember that Joe Burrow had a great passing game on them twice. I just feel like that's the only way you can really beat Baltimore. But I'm gonna go with Baltimore on the road here. I think Derrick Henry is the hero of this game. I think like Lamar Jackson has a sweet 80-yard touchdown there in the second half to kind of break it open. This Ravens team is hungry. They know that with Saturday's game, the Chiefs are going first. Their eyes are going to be set to what happened in Week 1, the rematch. And I feel like they're going to be remembering that backhand. And so, not to mention, the last time these two met up in the divisional round, Lamar got hurt and got a concussion. I do believe this was the 2021 divisional round. And Lamar got hurt, got a concussion. I think it was like the first half. And then Buffalo was able to win it and to go to Kansas City for the AFC title game. So, just putting that out there. So, I like Lamar to get his revenge. Give me the Ravens 27-21. I do think it's more of a higher scoring game, but I'm just going to keep it chill and say 27-21.
All right. I'm going to agree with you. I have Baltimore. I think we've seen this is Derrick Henry's crowning year. This is the year that he's going to go for this championship. If he doesn't get it, I don't think he ever will. I actually think at the end of the day, Josh Allen's going to win his first MVP this year, but Lamar Jackson's going to win this game and move on to possibly win a Super Bowl. I just think, as you mentioned, the wide receivers and the pass catchers, that's where this game is where it's going to hurt the most if they don't have guys like Stephon Diggs and alpha wide receivers that you might need in the deep stretch of a playoff game. I am interested to see if Zay Flowers does play in this game for the Ravens. That could sway a couple things, but I still have Baltimore. I feel like every major Derrick Henry highlight has come against the Bills earlier this year. Obviously, those years ago when he stiff-armed Josh Norman. So I just think that this is a game that Baltimore will pull out and rematch with the Chiefs from Week 1, where the inch away from tying it kind of thing. And it'll set up a really great AFC championship. But yes, Dwayne Nation, those are AFC divisional round predictions. We have another episode where we will dive into the NFC, which includes Philadelphia and the Rams, and Detroit and Washington. So if you want to see those, check it out. And also, if you're curious to see, hey, I know there's some head coaching openings in the NFL. Who do you think, what coach do you think will join that certain team? We also have another episode for that. It'll be right below. So check it out. Thank you guys for listening. And Genoa, send us out.
Yo, Dwayne Nation, this was our AFC divisional round predictions there. Go ahead and leave a comment below and let us know what you're thinking there. Are the Chiefs really going to win? Are my Texans going to pull it off? What are we thinking about the Bills and Ravens there? Is it going to be a crazy shootout? Or is Josh Allen going to finally pull through? Is it going to be finally Lamar? Let us know. Comment down below. We love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We love you guys. And as always, peace.